Today, I want to continue on the topic that we talked about yesterday. And I think, guys, we made one of the biggest breakthrough for AnchorPoint. And I'm not even joking. So, yesterday, we were talking about horizontal organizations and how most of small and medium sized businesses have that horizontal structure where you have the owner and then you have the people who are doing the execution from lead to cash. And in reality, this design and this structure of a company is not because people chose it, but it's because those companies are usually cash strapped and talent strapped. So there is like a void of management level that is still very useful. So that's what we call hybrid organizations. And I think what I want to show you today is a more digestible presentation of what this is. And at the end of this video, I'm just going to present one of the biggest breakthroughs I think that I did, and that honestly can add millions of dollars in the pockets of small and medium-sized businesses. So check this out. So we're gonna go to this little artifact that I generated, and we're gonna start with the organizational structure research in a visual format. So what I want to do first is to segment the market of small and medium-sized businesses. So we're gonna take the range between $2.5 million and $100 million of revenue per year. So you see the first stage usually is the companies below $10 million of revenue. They'll have between 10 and 40 employees. This is what we call flat and simple organizations. It's stage one, where you usually have basically one layer of management. Then you'll have stage two, it's companies who do between 10 and 25 million, 40 to 100 employees. And of course, when we speak about employees, it can be FTEs or seasonal. But in the end, within the year, how many distinct faces have worked in your company for over a quarter? This is how we're gonna define an employee. So this stage is transitional, and usually this is the stage where you'll have like your right hand or first manager, like operations director or sales team manager. So you'll have a two-layered company. Then you have the stage three between 25 and 50 million. This becomes a very interesting business, where you might have a structure in 3 levels. This is where you see your departments form. And in the end, we go to stage 4, which is like 50 to 100 million. At this stage, you're set for life, you're loaded. This is where you have professional management, and usually this is where you're gonna go hire like A players, people who finished Harvard or McGill or even Polytechnics Montreal, where I'm from. So the critical inflection point really happens at 20 to 25 employees. This is where your first management is actually necessary. Like founder owners just can't do it alone. It's just impossible. We all have 24 hours within a day. And but this is also like that inflection point that is the hardest to like breach, because it all relies on your ability to create documentation, create proper guidance, and actually the culture, and then also hire the right person. Like the amount of times we saw with our clients attempts to scale, but the ability for them to find that A player was just almost impossible. It's very hard, especially to give the trust of your production or all your big value stream activities to a person you like sometimes just met. So this is where like it creates a lot of dysfunction within the whole economy. Like I'm gonna talk macro, but I think it's very important also for us to do analysis on the micro aspect of this. But yeah, it costs $billions just in the US in construction rework, because you have organizational dysfunction. The tribal knowledge law, so let's say you have your best employee and they leave. I'm sure most of you have that one person that you don't want to be hit by a bus tomorrow. Then you have also decision bottlenecks, like the amount of time things should have been done, but they waited for you to make that decision. And then also like the micromanagement impact, like you manage your people too much and you create an atmosphere that is just compatible with retention of your employees. And you have the confusion between, okay, I need to manage and I really need to micromanage. And this is where like it becomes challenging. It's not easy to be a great leader and create that environment. So yeah, And then, once you grow and you go above that second stage, and when you have departments, silos can appear and people can be more individualistic and like not work together. People who have a lot of insecurity, they'll create, actively that tribal knowledge, and sometimes they won't even want to share it because they fear that they'll be replaced if that knowledge is shared. And then we see like the decision bottlenecks. All those like create those like big losses for companies and the economy in general. So, and then we say, like, I personally told yesterday video that I really like flex structures. Why? Because they give you more autonomy. You have way more freedom in terms of the execution. You can really own the success, and there's no politics. You can really go direct to the value, and there's no bullshit. And I really like that, especially like when I was working in big corporations like ABB or Essence. I had the pleasure and like the privilege to be part of an organization that was putting trust in me, and so I could like actually drive result. That was like my number one criteria when I was looking for internships or some jobs and gigs. But sometimes that culture didn't really wasn't compatible with B players or C players within the company. Not everyone can be A players. So this is where a hybrid system, a hybrid structure between hierarchical and flat, combine the best of two worlds when it comes to decision speed, communication clarity, scalability, employee autonomy, cost efficiency, quality control, innovation, adaptability. And so you combine all the benefits of a flat structure and all the benefits of hierarchical structures, and you remove all the weaknesses like poor scalability, quality control issues, hidden hierarchies, and all that stuff. And this is basically one of the biggest value props that we offer at AnchorPoint and with our product, the Ops OS, which is a tailored intelligence systems that help you manage your operations. So if a business is just acquisition and then the delivery. So we excel at helping you do the delivery. That then, as Scott Galloway says, we are in the era of supply chains where the brand and the marketing is kind of dead. You can't fake your way with a mediocre product. You have to be exceptional because the weapons of due diligence, like TripAdvisor, Google, Facebook, will expose all your bad service, all your bad products to the world. And it's going to cost you sales in the long run. And as he says, most of the business who added the most value in the last like 15 years, all supply chains like Netflix, Amazon, Shein, like Costco, like they're all excel on the exceptional service and operational excellence. So I mean, as time goes, this reality will catch up to small and medium-sized businesses, and you'll have to like invest in those systems that help you scale, and while you do the revenue, still keep that profit and have the freedom to reinvest and hire the best. So the hybrid model, what it is in terms of the visual, like it's when between the owner and the employees, you have that like ability to orchestrate the work. And this is what we call, it's a patented, soon to be patented technology, what we call the Swiss clock method. It basically says to you who has to do what and when. So it replaces the task routing, so you don't have to think about it, the performance visibility, knowledge transfers, quality control, communication. And, no technology, no AI will replace humans. Humans, as Elon Musk said, are underrated. They're fantastic. Automation is good, but there's a big nuance between automating, a task and automating the value stream. Like you can't operate the value stream without humans. So, we saw some very, very impressive results with our customers who are already operating within that realm. And honestly, it's incredible. Like the impact just on people's lives in terms of how well they sleep, the amount of issues that just aren't like present anymore, the amount of phone calls that diminish, like the amount of notifications, the beep, 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 that just goes away. It's incredible. Like honestly, beyond just doing like business, we actually change people's lives. And so, yeah, I think in another video, we can talk about, the span of control and the different managers and how well you can manage the amount of people. So essentially, one of the biggest value proposition is like you want to reduce the amount of manager per executors. I saw a lot of companies, they do the reverse. Like they have a problem and their solution is hire more managers. I hate that. I think, the software isn't gonna build itself. The customer won't be served by itself. It's not the manager who gonna go on your customer support or gonna go do your package. Some companies do it, and like kudos to them, but not all of them do that. So you want to get in that essentially sweet spot where you have 8 to 10 direct reports, and you actually can really work with each of them on the individual capacity improvement. So that's what we saw in another video, and then their motivation, which was the angle. So you reach the maximum performance. I think that's pretty much it. The failure modes, yeah, and like one of the biggest numbers to that I will do another video on that is very impressive is that the companies that are like digitally systematized, system dependent, they increase the valuation when the owner wants to exit. Most of the businesses, you can be passionate, but at some point you need to retire or pass that business to your kids. But most of the people usually don't want to take a fat check and then put it into an index fund and live off that 5 or 10% per year API. If you can go from a business that is valued 6 million to a business that is valued 12 million with a very good tailored system for your operation where your process is not documented and that is not dependent on you, you can actually double your money. So from the time you start working with us, in under a year, guaranteed, 90 days, you will see already huge value lift. But in under a year, I guarantee you, we can double the value of your business. This is just incredible. And the private equity firms and other owners, they just line up and to buy business like yours. So if you, at some point within working with us, can go on vacation for a month without touching your phone while everything runs and you can prove that, and we will see that, honestly, you're set for life. And I think we also think about how we can evolve our business model in terms of delivering this value to you guys. But yeah, I think just thinking about the impact we can have on the broader economy and the people's lives by doing this thing is just incredible. I'm very excited about what we do. So thank you so much for watching. If you want other analysis or things that you want us to explore, just leave a comment, subscribe, follow us on all the socials. You can find me on LinkedIn, Alexandre Carré, and on Instagram, Facebook. We're gonna start to publish as often as possible. Very excited for 2026. We have a lot of great clients lined up, but we only work with 3 new clients per month because quality for us is paramount. And hiring A players that can deliver what we offer is very challenging. And this is my full-time job. So if you want to have a call with me and see what we can do for your business, just go on our website, go on the form, submit a time, and you'll be able to book a call with me. So yeah, thank you so much. Have a nice day. Peace.